Let's have a look at some sharpness tests done with the Fujinon MK 18-55 and 50-135. Here is the 18-55 at 55mm wide open at T2.9, and you can see it's incredibly sharp. If we stop down slightly to T4, you can see it improves even sharper, but not a massive difference between T4 and T2.9. Now if we go down to 5.6, you can see really sharp. Now you can see all that detail, very clear, really sharp lens. Now let's take those exact same shots and blow up those images 200%. Here is the 18-55 at 55mm at T2.9, and you can still see retaining a lot of detail and still very sharp for a lens that's wide open. If we drop down to T4, it's picking up even more detail, very sharp. If we now drop down to T5.6, you can see a lot of that detail. Now on the robot, you can see all the little tiny fine details, very sharp image. So now let's have a look at the 18-55 at 18mm wide open at T2.9. Still nice and sharp image. The robot, which is what I focused on, is very sharp. If we drop it down to T4, again you can see very sharp, even at 18mm here. Provides a lot of detail in your image. If we drop all the way down to T5.6, you can see lots of detail, very sharp. The robot has got lots of detail. You can see all the little fine elements on him. Now let's crop in 200% on that exact same shot. So here you can see a little bit soft at 18mm at T2.9 wide open, which is to be expected on a wide angle at this sort of focal length. You're not going to see a great deal of detail wide open on a lens like this. Drop down to T4 and you can see things start to improve. Sharpness starts to come back, a bit more detail. And now if we drop it all the way down to 5.6, you can see very sharp. Even cropped in at 18mm, 200%, a lot of detail coming back. So now let's have a look at the 50-135. This is at 135mm wide open at T2.9, and as you can see, incredibly sharp. We drop down to T4, improves slightly, a little bit more detail. Now if we go to T5.6, you can see lots of detail there. Very sharp image. It performs really well at 5.6. So let's blow up those exact same shots again, 200%. Here you can see very sharp. Look at the sharpness on some of the details there on the robot. This is at T2.9, wide open at 135mm. Very sharp lens. Drop it down to T4, exceptionally sharp. Lots of detail being shown. If we go all the way to 5.6, you can see it's starting to look really lifelike now. You can see every single little detail and pattern on the robot.